Good morning, Assalamu alaikum. This is Allied School Nowshera campus. It's our biology class, biology for grade 10th. Page number 128, and our topic is carbon cycle. But before that, let me explain what biogeochemical cycle actually is. So, what happens up till now, we read it again and again that when there are dead organisms or dead bodies, they are being changed into nutrients by some organisms. These organisms are known as microorganisms, right? And then these nutrients are absorbed by plants or producers to make their food, and then from these plants the food is taken by consumers, or we can say heterotrophs. Heterotrophs are those organisms which cannot prepare their own food but depend on other to get their food, right? So, and then obviously after the decomposition or after the death of these heterotrophic organisms, they are changed into dead organisms or dead bodies, and then again this is changed into microorganisms into nutrients. So if you look over here, these nutrients are quite free available in our environment, right? And these remaining materials, they are our biotic factors, and this is our abiotic factor. So what happens if you observe the chemicals, for example it's nitrogen, or for example it's oxygen, or for example it's carbon, whatever it is, the cycle is that is the chemical moves on from living organisms to non-living organisms to the environment, right? So we can say that from living organisms mean bio, to environment means geo. Sorry, my page is just moving. Geo. And then what is moving here? That is the chemical. So bio, geo, chemical. And if you look over here, can we decide from where it has been started or where it has been ended? It's from dead organism to nutrient, nutrient to plant, plant to heterotroph, heterotroph to dead organism again nutrient. So we cannot decide that from where it has been started or where it is exactly going to, the cycle or the movement of the chemicals is going to end. This means that it is moving in a circular path, right? So that circular path is usually known as cycle. So if someone asks you what is biogeochemical cycle, so what will you say? You will say the movement of chemicals from biotic factors to the environment in a circular path is called biogeochemical cycle, right? Then in coming towards your first topic, which is carbon cycle, and it is mentioned on page number 128. I hope the definition of biogeochemical cycle is clear. And now we are moving towards carbon cycle. So what carbon cycle is? Carbon cycle will obviously be the movement of carbon, which is a chemical movement of carbon from environment to plants to heterotrophs, and again coming to the environment in a particular circular cycle, right? All right, let's see how carbon cycle flows in our environment or in our ecosystem. So for example, if we think about carbon dioxide, this is the structural formula of carbon dioxide, CO2, right? So carbon dioxide is in the atmosphere is present about 0.04%, and almost many of the elements, or all of the elements we can say, or all of the compounds are made up of carbon. We have been divided chemistry in two main parts, all the elements in two main parts. They are organic compounds and inorganic compounds, right? Inorganic compounds are all the elements of the periodic table. This means that in our universe there are 118 elements. So all the elements in the periodic table except carbon bonded with hydrogen are known as inorganic compounds, whereas all the compounds made up of carbon and hydrogen, carbon bonded with hydrogen, okay, this is known as hydrocarbons. So all the elements made up of hydrocarbons, or the compounds made up of hydrocarbons, are called as organic compounds, right? Okay, look over here. Organic compounds have only these two compounds, or basically this carbon is very important in their backbone. For example, all the proteins, all the carbohydrates, all the fats, glucose, sugars, these are made up of organic compounds, means that they are having carbon as their main structure, whereas inorganic compounds are still quite larger in number, but as comparison of both of them, it is having all 116 elements, whereas this is only 2 elements. So what I want to say that is that the chemistry of compounds is being divided into 2 groups. Why is that? That is because there were majority, almost 6 million of compounds are made up of carbon, right? And then these 6 million compounds were not easy to study under a single section of compounds, so they have divided organic compounds and inorganic compounds, and then in organic compounds we only study these 6 million, more than 6 million compounds, because they are having carbon and hydrogen in their basic structure, which is known as hydrocarbons. Anyhow, what our point is, that is, in our world almost all the compounds are having carbon, or the backbone is of carbon, right? And our atmosphere is having 0.04% of carbon dioxide. So let's suppose we are talking about this carbon dioxide. It is present in the atmosphere. From the atmosphere, it is taken by plants. And what do plants do with it? Plants uses photosynthesis, the process of making glucose in the presence of sunlight. So plants uses this carbon dioxide, or traps this carbon dioxide with the help of sunlight from the atmosphere, and then transforms it into what? Into glucose. C6H12O6, right? This is the formula for glucose. What I said, from atmosphere, the carbon dioxide is trapped by plants with the help of sunlight, and then plants change it in the process of photosynthesis into glucose. Then by various processes, metabolic activities, this glucose is converted into other compounds. For example, fats have major component carbon. For example, carbohydrate, it also has carbon as its major component, and accepted proteins, right? Then these fats, carbohydrates, proteins and glucose, they are absorbed by, or they are taken by herbivores. Then from herbivores, this food material, or this carbon in the form of food material, is taken by what? By carnivores, right? Or omnivores, or simply, if we don't mention herbivores or carnivores, we can say consumers. Okay, now consumers, we are having 3 types of consumers. Primary consumers, From primary consumers, they are taken by secondary consumers. From secondary, they are then taken by tertiary consumers. And after all, what happens? They are changed into carbon dioxide once again and given into atmosphere. Right? In your book, they have written a word. The word is trophic level. Trophic system. The statement which they have used that is that the carbon moves through the biotic environment through trophic levels. So carbon moves through biotic environment. This is the biotic environment through trophic system. Trophic system means first trophic level, secondary trophic level, tertiary trophic level, quaternary trophic level, right? So from producers it has been started, and that is your trophic level. So what happens actually, the biotic system, it also transfers, the carbon transfers from one form to another form in the form of different food particles. It is transferred through different trophic levels, and then at last it is then converted into carbon dioxide and given off to the environment once again, right? But now this level, how is it converted to the environment? How carbon dioxide is changed into nutrient once again to the environment from the organism. Carbon is changed into carbon dioxide once again. So for that purpose, we are having three main routes. From consumers or from producers, the carbon is changed into once again in the form of carbon dioxide and is given to the atmosphere. But what is the process for that? We were talking about it. There are three main processes. Number one is respiration. In respiration, what happens? Plants and animals give off carbon dioxide. When do plants give off carbon dioxide? That is in the absence of sunlight at night, right? So plants and animals both exhale carbon dioxide. So it is given to the atmosphere. There is another process, that is decomposition. In decomposition, what happens? That the dead bodies of both plants and animals, they are changed into nutrients, and in these nutrients carbon is given off to the environment, and this action is known as decomposition, and decomposition is done by microorganisms or bacteria, right? The third process or the third way how carbon dioxide or how carbon is given off to the atmosphere, that is by a process known as fossilization. Fossilization is a process where the plant and animal bodies are preserved. For example, the plants are preserved in the form of in a hard form, right? In a form of coal. And then this coal is known as fossil, and the process how it is preserved, that is known as fossilization. So when we burn this coal, the burning process of the coal or the burning process of the fossil fuel produces what? Carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide is given to the atmosphere. So here we can say that plants, animals, and in the environment, all the elements, especially carbon, is carried sometimes in one form, sometimes in other form, but the carbon cycle proceeds and we cannot identify from where it started or where it will end, right? If you look over here once again, carbon dioxide is changed into is used or is trapped from the atmosphere with the help of sunlight by plants, and then plants have been converted this carbon dioxide into glucose in the form of photosynthesis, in the process known as photosynthesis, and then because of different metabolic activities. Metabolic activities means the activities of breaking down of food, this carbon, glucose. The carbon or these compounds are being converted into fats, carbohydrates, proteins, and the structural base or backbone of this compound is what? That is carbon. And then these fats, carbohydrates, proteins, glucose, they are taken off from the plants by consumers, primary consumers, secondary consumer, or tertiary consumers. Similarly, we can say that in the biotic environment, the carbon is carried from one trophic system to another trophic system, and then it is given off to the environment. And the giving off to the environment has three main ways. Number one is respiration, number two is decomposition, and number three is fossilization, right? I hope the lecture is quite clear to everyone, but still if there is anything which you feel hard to understand, please do ask. You may ask in our YouTube channel, you may ask in your WhatsApp group, you may ask in the Google Classroom as well. Do read page number 128 and 129 carefully and visit your Google Classroom to see what's your homework. Alright, take care everyone, have a good day ahead, bye bye.